Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. It is Friday Talks. Yeehaw! It's just like yippee-ki-yay. Oh, fun fact, I was talking with somebody just to make you start your day on a Friday for a happy Friday here. I had fun earlier this morning because I talked to somebody on the phone and he thought I was from Colombiana. And I'm like, no, I'm not from Colombiana at all. But it was fun. The gentleman did travel over there. So it's like the second person, I think, in all of the decades I've been that I've heard if I was from Colombia. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Some people think I'm Russian. I'm like, I'm not Russian. I don't even speak Russian. But it's very interesting when people do that and strike a good conversation as well. I like that conversation. Those are good conversation. So, but it's always fun when you see this. As I said, I just enjoy those moments where people just want to share something interesting. So it's always nice. And generally, when people ask, I let them guess. To be honest with you, when I started, the first time I came here, when I came here, was people were asking, where I come from, where I come from. And after a week, not even after, I got so tired. I'm like, well, I'm going to let you guess. So I let them guess. And I let them guess until they find it. And if they don't find it, then that's not my problem. I was just like, I'm not spending my time to repeat the same thing over and over. Because the most interesting part of it, to be honest with you, was when people said, looking at me with a deep, silent face, oh, you have not experienced the winter yet here. And I'm like, no, but you're number 200 people right now, 219 who said the same thing. Like, really? Yes, we do. I've even Siberia, because I asked there was a couple from Russia, very sweet couple, that was a few decades ago. We were taking a class here, and I talked to them, and I said, well, Siberia could be colder than that, isn't it? And they're looking at me, and they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, it's not? They said, no, this is colder. I'm like, okay, if you say so. So it's always been very interesting. But that was my little take on the accent. And I'm like, yes. I said, I told the gentleman, I said, how many? I said, well, I speak 5 different languages, but I speak them wrong right now. So I don't speak them properly. So that's the mixed. Don't ask me where it came from. I have no idea. I shouldn't have one, but I have one. The brain play a very interesting game, quote unquote. So we'll let it be. Like I always said, we let it be. That's it. We let it be. So, but it's just, yes, we are approaching the winter, and there is a lot of things happening in this world. We're still dealing with Hurricane Helene. And helping the people in North Carolina, but it's looking at our own expectation. It's looking at our own self. See what else can we do for our own self. What is the life of 1,000 and transformation do I want to go through? Doing your winter cleanup. If the people you got around are the right one or not. Ensuring that out of everything we've got, what can we do to do that? So those are the transformation and we are having. Those are the moments where it is so enlightening to really embrace our life in a positive manners. Making decision we have to make in order to have a better day. Ensuring that the life we're having is a beautiful life. The life of transformation, the life where we can really move ourselves to the next level, reinventing ourselves. Like, I don't know if you saw the movie Reinventing Anna. I think it is. And it was on Netflix. And I think I saw it. It wasn't on Netflix, but she's a very interesting socialite individual who unfortunately did some fraud. She went and did the federal went to federal prison, blah blah blah. But she reinvented herself. This is what we do. We reinvent ourselves. If you're looking at who you were a year ago to where you are today, or even 10 years ago, you're different. We're all different. We all grow. We all change. We all evolve. We gain some wisdom along the way. Some people don't, but most people do get some very good insight and wisdom. So this is, to me, a very interesting life. Going sur les chemins de travers, looking at where can we make the best of who we are? Where can we make that transformation that will really empower us? Where can we make that move, that flexible moment where we are not so strict, so closed off, that we really empower ourselves in a better way. So those are the moments where you can think and just sit down and reflect, because we're close. We're like November 13th. So by the time you're listening to this, it will be like December or something like that. I'm like several weeks ahead of the game here. But it's just looking at the reflection of how was your year? What was the most impactful? What was the most negative part of it? And what did you learn during that year? What, and I'm not talking the political landscape. I'm talking more at your journey, at your level. What have you learned and moved on from? Because, I have learned quite a lot of things this year, but it's also standing your ground. One of the biggest things that I've seen is standing your ground, not letting somebody rain on your parade. Because if you think about it, sometimes it's difficult when you got too many cook in the kitchen, when you get too many influences, when you have people letting you know what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, when you should have your own voice. Where is your voice? That, to me, is something that we need to really understand. Where is your voice? And do you have your voice? That would be another thing too. Because a lot of people don't have their voice. A lot of people don't understand that it can be difficult for us to do it. When you start to set your boundaries, and I experienced it earlier this year, because I'm not a pushover, but I like to have my boundaries, but I let my boundaries down a little bit for some people, to the point that enough is enough. What is your lesson to learn here is to stand up for your own self. For you, just set up the boundaries so nobody will impede, expecting you to do everything. And it's like, no. So this was something that we need to really emphasize. And understanding that the life of 1,000, it's a life of transformation, and that life of transformation is something that is beautiful, but also something that could be more challenging for people. And we have to really embrace the side of who we truly are. So having the capability to be there for one another, having the capability to really embrace that life of transformation, embracing who we truly are, moving into a place of peace. Yes, we love peace. We like peace. No, it's just, Emma is going crazy. No, I'm not. But think about it. So for me, this year was more putting the boundaries up back again. People walking away from people. and people who have long-term, short-term relationship, friends, people that I consider friends. But when you move on, you need to move on. It's time to, like I said, in our journey, when we're on our journey, we're gonna cross people on our own path and on their path, and some gonna stay for a moment, some will stay for a lifetime. So understanding that, being flexible in our ways, respecting our own self, because I think a lot of people don't respect themselves. Stop giving your powers away. I never gave my powers away to be liked. A lot of people won't give their powers away because they want to be liked. They are insecure. It's like, work on your insecurity. Why are you insecure? Go to the root cause of it. Maybe it's the way you grew up, that watching your mom being insecure, or your father or your sister, whomever influenced you. Then work on that. Look at what was the big challenges were, in my case, we're talking about the boundaries, putting the boundaries to the people that were very close to me, and having the backlash. I have to be honest, this is the best part, is when people complain about it, said, well, when I met you, you were so nice and so sweet. And I looked at the people and I'm like, I'm still nice and sweet. However, I put my boundaries up. That's all. So you're not going to be able to do anything about that, do you? I said, I'm still sweet and nice, but I'm not going to be running and try to be a people pleaser, because I'm not. I'm not a people pleaser at all. But I'm not going to run and save the day every day. That's not happening here. We are changing this. This is not happening here. So it's been very interesting, because you see the child within the people, within the adult. And, well, you used to be nice. Well, yeah, it's just I'm still nice. However, boundaries, that's all. Okay? I'm not going to bend myself in four just for you. No. If I have time, I take the time. If I don't, I don't. And a no is a no. I taught that for many years. I taught that to people, how to say no. And people pleaser, I remember there was a diplomat. I had one person. He was a good hairstylist too. And I was in Portugal when we were in Portugal. Sweetheart, super nice, super sweet. Hairstylist, but he always said yes, and I started to teach him to say no. Well, 6 months later, no was part of his vocabulary, and he was saying no to everybody, which was good, because otherwise he would have been the people pleaser for everybody else's. So it's like learning and relearning what you forgot, because sometimes you forget things. So being able to, looking at the previous year, which was the Dark Night of the Soul, which was, at the year end, it's like, oh, the house burned down. Gotta love it, people. Gotta love it. And what I call it, quote unquote, the shit hit the fan pretty bad, to go to the kind of the recovery journey, meaning still had to learn a life lesson with someone, parts away with somebody else's, but making the right choice, the healthier choice, and really stand your ground. A lot of people are afraid to be alone. I don't know why is that, to be alone. So they're going to make the wrong choice in their lives. But learning, and I said that in the past, and I will continue to say it, when we're kids, you know what is nice? It's when you're in your 20s. Instead of going with a roommate, live on your own. So start to learn who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and you don't fall into the trap of people pleasing. Doing things that you are not liking it at all. Like if you don't like to go to see a football game, or watching a football game on TV when you don't like it, and just sitting right there and smiling like, yeah, I'm liking it. No, I don't. But I'm going to spend 3 to 4 hours to do that for my mate. No, you can go and do something else. If they want to watch it, let them watch it. You maybe watch once a while and that's it. So it is the hardest part, is to be able to stand our ground. Compromising is meeting in the middle. You can meet in the middle, but you should not be one side. So when you learn to be on your own, to live on your own, to do everything on your own, you really start to create that, to mold yourself to what you like, what you don't like. You're going to experience good, you're going to experience bad, and you're going to experience the ugly. That's part of life. But a lot of people skip that because you get that roommate dooley bobbery thing. So you go from home to roomie to mate. But where did you live alone? At what point of time did you live alone? There is a lot of people who are afraid to live alone. So you have to rethink about everything and said, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I cannot do. Be present in your life. Make sure that when things are happening, they're happening for a good reason. Otherwise, they don't. And you have to make sure things happen for a right reason. That's the hardest part. So think about this year. What have you accomplished? What have been your biggest wins? What have been your biggest challenges? And what have you learned? See the transformation you have gone through. See that. And at the end of the day, is bringing peace in our lives. That is one of the biggest things ever as well. Bringing all of this and some more. I'm impressed. I'm going to change conversation quick. By the time I'm recording, this is about 3:29 in the afternoon. And their feeding time is 3 p.m. The little one tried to beg half an hour before, and they're all sleeping right now, which is absolutely awesome. They're going to be able to eat in a little bit when I'm done recording, but they're all sleeping, which is cute. I think Lulu figured out I'm talking. No. He's sleeping. It's like the other two. They're all sleeping. Very nice. I love my kids. So, but think about back to our to the question that I have for you today, guys. Think about it. Reflect on that, and see what have been the biggest wins for you. What have been the biggest challenges, and what are you looking forward to it? And see the difference of where you were at the beginning of the year to mid-year to the end of the year. See the transformation. It's very interesting to see our state of mind. It's very interesting on how we adjust to everything, and how did we settle in our roles of where we are today, and with our mates, with our kids, with our pups, with our kiddies, and how do we feel for the next step? Because what are our biggest goals for next year, if you have any? Or maybe some people do their 2 and 5 year plan. I don't do 2-year plan and 5-year plan. I just set up a goal and make it happen. That's how I function. But some people do that. But what are the goals for you for next year? What are you looking forward for next year? And how was the goal for this year? And what did you modify? What did you stop? Or what goals did you swap? Because interestingly enough, when you go on your journey, some of your goals are going to be shifting. That's the interesting part, is those shifting parts. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. And where are you in that grand scheme of life so far? So this was our podcast for today, and we are closing very slowly but surely to our 20 minutes podcast. It depends on the day. Some days I will go longer, some days I don't. But think about the life of 1,000. Think about the transformation you have gone through this year, and the challenges and the wins, and what are your next goals. Think about it. It's a time of reflection, and time of shifting gear and doing something that we really want to do or need to do, either way. So all my love, guys, and I will talk to you later for sure. Bye now.
Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.
Where do we go from here? Session.